Okay. And then,
So the man is still flying in the air as I'm talking to you.
oh wow,
That's technology for you.
oh wow. And then there's this thing that happened recently. Because of the COVID pandemic, people were signing online to religious services.
Okay.
So a certain person was asked to read a scripture. So he turned on his microphone and read the scriptures. And the scripture was saying you have to love your wife as yourself. And when he had finished reading the scripture, he forgot that the microphone was still on.
That technology problem.
He didn't know it was still on. And then the wife was telling him, "You're blocking." He said, "Will you shut up? Are you out of your mind? I am talking, you're talking." And after he had read the scripture, he already said, that means you have to treat your wife well, you have to love your wife, give her respect. And then just thereafter, he said, are you out of your mind? Are you mad? I'm talking, you're talking. And this was the entire
Church.
Over 1,000 people heard him say that.
So did they also hear what the woman said to the husband?
No, he offed his mic. He realized that the mic was on and he turned it
So what the woman told him,
we didn't hear.
they didn't hear. So it was only the man that was in trouble.
Yes.
So did he hear that the woman also told the husband, "Get out, you short man"?
We didn't hear. You weren't there.
But I can imagine what the woman said.
Did you say short man?
I'm not using me as an example. I just said short man. But there's a debate that is ongoing right now talking about husband and wife. Okay. A parrot died in the house, and they're wondering who is responsible for the death of the parrot. Is it the husband or the wife? Okay. The parrot's name was Border. Okay. And parrots, they talk whatever they see. So the husband is traveling and tells the parrot, "Anytime my wife cheats on me, remove a feather." Okay. So by the time the man came back, the parrot had removed all the feathers and died. The wife did not know that was the instruction given to the parrot. Okay. So when the man came back, he asked the wife, "Where is Border? What happened to Border?" The wife now told the husband, he said, "I don't know what happened though. The guy just started removing his feathers every day until he died of cold." When the woman realized that parrot had been removing his feathers, he knew that every time the woman cheated on him, the parrot removed the feather. So now the question is it the man that gave the instruction to the parrot that killed the parrot, or the woman that was cheating on her husband that killed the parrot?
The man gave the instruction, so he killed the parrot. He shouldn't have given such instruction.
Excuse me.
We would like to, at this point, recognize the presence of the Permanent Secretary of the FCT. Mr. Elusade Adeshola. You're welcome, sir.
He is here representing the Honorable Minister of the FCT. A round of applause for him one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go back to that issue later. But I think at this point in time, we are good to go. In just a minute, we'll confirm that quickly.
So we now have the approval to begin. Welcome, sir. We would like, please, to invite all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen in the hall to be on their feet as we take the national anthem.
Please, DJ, help us play the national anthem. Shall we pray? O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right. Help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great and lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen.
Please be seated. The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, the Honorable Minister, Federal Capital Territory, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, all Permanent Secretaries serving and retired, Directors, Director Generals and Executive Directors, Honorable Commissioners of State Water Resources, representatives of development partners, representatives of RWASA, representatives of the Water Board, female professionals in WASH, civil society, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is our delight to warmly welcome you to this 28th regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources holding today in Abuja. And just before we go to the first item on the agenda, we would like to invite all our friends connected online to remember that they need to change the names on their devices to their names so that we get to take the attendance of all commissioners present and their representatives. Would also like to remind you of the need to observe all COVID protocols so that we stay safe. At this point, permit me to invite to the podium the Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Olusade Adeshola, as he welcomes us officially to this occasion. A round of applause, please, as his representatives takes the speech.
Just a quick reminder that the representative is General Manager, FCT Water Board, Dame Joy Okoro. Welcome, Madam.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Hussaini Adamu, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, ably represented by my infatigable Permanent Secretary, Mr. Olusade Adeshola, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, and Chairman, National Technical Committee on Water Resources, other federal and permanent secretaries here present, members of the National and State Assemblies here present, our development international partners, my colleagues, the directors of Federal Ministry of Water Resources, FCTA, FCDA, RWASA, resource persons and facilitators, heads of agencies, state delegates, the honorable commissioners from states, my lords, spiritual and temporal, other dignitaries here present, distinguished gentlemen of the press, invited guests. I am here to present the welcome address that's supposed to be given by my Permanent Secretary, who is present with us here. So I'm going to present exactly what he has said. And if there's any clarification, please, he's here to answer them. Highly esteemed council members and invited guests, it is with great honor that I heartily welcome all delegates to the 28th National Council on Water Resources, the highest authority with the statutory responsibility for the policy formulation, implementation, and evaluation, as it relates with the overall development, sustenance, and strategic management of our national water resources and infrastructure. It gladdens our heart that Abuja has been chosen out of the 36 states of the Federation by the organizers of this all-important and all-embracing conference. We believe Abuja, as the host, will provide all the necessary support and input in ensuring a smooth, interactive, and result-driven deliberations. You are indeed warmly welcome. It has been acknowledged, globally speaking, that financing and management of sustainable water infrastructure has its peculiar challenges. This is evident going by the capital-intensive nature and long-term return on investment structure associated with water infrastructure investment. The theme of this year's council meeting, that is emerging water infrastructure in Nigeria, emerging financial and management challenges for sustainable water infrastructure in Nigeria. This captures succinctly these trending challenges, and it is most timely and imperative going by the upsurge in the demand and use of water by our people in both rural and urban settlements. I believe strongly that the Council will not stop at identifying the financial and management challenges, but will do well to go a step further to prefer enduring and workable solutions in mitigating them. The urgent need for increased and sustained investment in water infrastructure has become so heightened going by the fact that prevalent incidences of waterborne epidemics such as cholera, diarrhea, dysentery, etc., are largely attributed to poor environmental and personal hygiene, occasioned by inadequate supply of chain and potable water. Distinguished council members and special invitees, it is an obvious fact that water is so crucial to life and living, to the extent that none of us can stay a day without using water. In one way or the other, it is in recognition of the indispensability of this liquid called water that His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, on November 8, 2018, declared a state of emergency on water, sanitation, and hygiene, WASH, when he inaugurated the National Action Plan for Revitalization of Water Supplies, Sanitation, and Hygiene as a national program. For us in the FCT, the expansion of access to potable water supply has always been on top of the agenda of the administration. In this regard, a contract for the rehabilitation of the Lower Usman Dam Treatment Plant, Phase 2, to optimize its water production capacity is currently ongoing. Similarly, under a bilateral initiative with the People's Republic of China, we are financing a project named Great Abuja Water Supply, which, when completed, will expand access to the supply of clean and potable water to 33 districts in phases 2 and 3, covering Gwarimpa 1, and Utako, Duse, Gudu, Karua, Wuye, Mabuchi, Jahi, Kado, Kam, Galadimawa, Lokogoma, Kabusa, Dakwe, etc. We are equally paying attention to the rural water supply with intense vigor. In this regard, barely 1 year ago, the Honorable Minister of State, FCT, Dr. Tijani Ramatu Aliyu, commissioned a comprehensive water supply project in Abaji, financed under the SDGs. Work is also at advanced stage of completion on the Karshi water project, which we hope to commission in 2023. The goals of these efforts is to promote access to water supply to greater majority in the Federal Capital Territory. The implementation of the Karshi water project awarded in 2013 has lingered on due to funding constraints. The technical committee will therefore appreciate the high expectation of the Federal Capital Territory Administration on the resolutions of the 2021 Council on how best to mobilize financing for water infrastructure. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I seize this opportunity to commend the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Hussaini Adamu, for his restless hard work, and my sister, the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Didi Wilson-Jack, for keeping faith with the annual hosting of the meeting of the Council, thereby ensuring that no one is left behind. Highly distinguished Council members, once again, I welcome you all to the 28th regular meeting, and we should take our time to explore and enjoy the scenery, ambience, and hospitality of the nation's unity capital city, Abuja. I thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. That was the speech. Thank you. I'll also take the speech from you. Thank you for safekeeping. Thank you. A round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen. That was Joy Okoro reading the speech on behalf of the Permanent Secretary, who is also here in person, but representing the Honorable Minister of the FCT. Honorable Minister, please permit me to quickly say hello to some of our commissioners that have come. We have Honorable Commissioners from Kebbi State. Can you just wave your hand, Commissioner from Kebbi State? We have from Bauchi State, a round of applause. Bauchi State, thank you. I did my NYC in Bauchi State. Minister, while I was an incident that took place, I served in Azare, precisely, in Azare. So there was an elderly man who was learning how to read and write. So that anything in the past is worse. Anything that is present is. So you don't say worse when it's now. So a young man was driving and had a head-on collision with him at that Azare roundabout. The police came and found and said, what happened? So the younger man now started speaking English. He said, I was trying to negotiate. The older man said, "Kache me. Abunde ya faru yanzu ne kache I was. Wanda ba I was, but I is nefa." It was until the man said, I is negotiate. He said, yo wa makna ya kare I. Yanzu it's good to welcome you. A round of applause for Bauchi State one more time, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome our own commissioner from Benue State. Our commissioner from Benue State. A round of applause for our commissioner from Benue State. We have from Bayelsa State. Bayelsa State, welcome Bayelsa State. Good to have you. Thank you for coming. We have that of Niger State. Niger State, thank you so much for coming. God bless you. We have Gombe State. That's a very serious commissioner from Gombe State. Okay. Now we have from Katsina State. Good to see you. Baraka sir. Good to see you. Now we have from Zamfara State. Yeah, that's the main commissioner, the one from Zamfara State. A round of applause for him one more time. Good to see you. Plateau State. Yeah, Plateau State. Thank you very much for coming. And finally, we have on the list for now the commissioner from Sokoto State. Do we have the commissioner from Sokoto State? Okay. Now, we'd like to also let you know that some of them have joined us via Zoom. They couldn't make the trip, so they joined us via Zoom. I also like to let you know, Honorable Minister, that a representative of the World Health Organization is here today. May I please invite Dr. Edwin Isoto Ede. Please take your seat right over here. A round of applause for him as he comes forward. Dr. Edwin Isoto is a fine gentleman. I've met quite a few times. He's always around the water resource programs. Good to have you. Thank you very kindly for joining us. I'd like to recognize very quickly, if the Honorable Minister will permit me, to recognize Engineer Chinyere Nena Iwagbabe, the National Chairman, Nigerian Institution of Water Engineers. A round of applause for her. Thank you very kindly, ma'am, for coming. And also, I have already recognized the female professionals in WASH. The president is Dr. Bolawaji Onabolu. Good to see you. Thank you very much for coming. Engineer Soji Adeyemi, good to have you. He's our resource person here. Engineer Soji, it's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. Having said that,
Yobe, commissioner from Yobe State is also in the house.
The Honorable Commissioner for Yobe State is here. Okay, please can you wave, sir? Let's see you. Wow, good to see you, sir. Thank you. From Adamawa State. Commissioner from Adamawa State. Okay, by the peers. Thank you so much for coming, sir. The good Lord bless you. It takes at least 25 years to make a permanent secretary in Nigeria. So we don't take that for granted at all. A round of applause for all the permanent secretaries in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, if you permit me, I will present to you a documentary that will be on your videos right in front of you. It's a short documentary on the emerging financial and management challenges for sustainable water infrastructure in Nigeria. If that video is ready, please, let's go. Can you cue those lights so that they can see? Very good.
Water is life. With the ever-increasing population, there is an increased demand for water for various uses ranging from domestic, sanitary, industrial, and agricultural purposes. This has necessitated the need for construction of critical infrastructure to enable the provision of water for the use of the generality of the citizens of the country. Over the years, construction of critical infrastructure for water has been instituted in many parts of the world to enhance the provision of water needs for people. In Nigeria, by virtue of the mandates of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, the ministry has been devoting a substantial part of its annual budget towards intervening in the development of water infrastructure and to enable the delivery of its mandate, because water is on the concurrent list. The ministry has also been dedicated to developing policies, programs, and strategies for efficient development and management of the nation's water resources. The critical infrastructure include dams, irrigation facilities, water schemes, and sanitation facilities.
Over thousands of years, man has found it important and convenient to harvest water to be used during the dry seasons. And that is why we have dams in this country and all over the world. Especially following the drought of 1973 in this country, the federal government at that time saw the need to continue to invest in construction of dams all over the country, which could be used for drinking water, tourism, and especially irrigation during the dry season. And we have quite a number of successful of such irrigation projects across the country.
The President Buhari's administration in the water sector, under the watch of Engineer Suleiman Hussaini Adamu, having noted the challenges in the water sector, declared a state of emergency in the sector and provided the needed leadership for massive improvement in the governance of the water sector.
Let me reiterate that provision of potable water supply, adequate sanitation and hygiene are primarily the responsibilities of state and local governments. However, these are not being given the required attention, judging from the high prevalence of waterborne diseases that are being reported in different parts of the country. We cannot and will not continue to allow these preventable occurrences to decimate our population. I fully endorse the decision taken at the meeting of the Federal Executive Council in April this year to declare a state of emergency on our water supply, sanitation, and hygiene sector. I call on all state governments to complement this effort by according the sector similar recognition to enable us work together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals targets for water supply, sanitation, and hygiene by 2030. Henceforth, federal government support to state governments will be based on their commitment to implement the national water supply, sanitation, and action plan in their respective states, and to end open defecation by 2025.
With the uncommon directional leadership of the Honorable Minister, there is a growing general shift towards alternative sources of funding in order to shore up more budgetary provision and strengthen as well as enhance wash service delivery to citizens, which presently is being pushed forward. This is because over the years it has been noted that government revenue alone cannot provide for the needed infrastructural development. This shift has become more imperative with the resultant effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the financial constraints being experienced in the water sector today. The 2013 Water Resources Master Plan estimated that over 6 trillion naira worth of investment is required to meet the infrastructural needs of the sector.
The 2013 Master Plan estimated that we need over 6 trillion naira worth of investments to meet the infrastructural needs of the sector. The master plan is currently under review, and this figure is expected to increase. This definitely underscores the importance of the theme of this council. This challenge can be met only if we fundamentally change the way we view and manage our water infrastructure. We must focus on effective utility management, full cost pricing of services, efficient use of water, and protection of our water resources.
The current budgetary provision indicates a huge funding gap between what is required and what is available. This challenge can be mitigated if there is a deliberate shift from the usual to the unusual mode of funding for the water sector. It is imperative to make a deliberate effort to explore creative alternative funding sources outside the usual budgetary provisions for water resources development. It is with this expected deliberate shift that management is courting the new trend of partial commercialization of some of the pilot river basin development authorities, which is vigorously being driven under Upper Niger River Basin Development Authority, Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority, Ogun Oshun River Basin Development Authority, and Niger Delta River Basin Development Authority, with the Bureau of Public Enterprises. The flagship strategy of Partnership for Expanded Program for Water Supply, PWASH, is also a novel project inaugurated by Engineer Suleiman Hussein Adamu. This is a strategy where the federal government and the state partner to provide water supply facilities in the communities, and this program has already started yielding dividends.
I appreciate the administration, the present administration under the leadership of Muhammadu Buhari and the Minister of Water Resources for this project we have done to us. We had the news that this borehole is going to be constructed here, and we have seen it is under construction. We became very happy because saying that water is life has now been proven to us. So we are full of joy.
The government came in to assist with the solar system. I tell you that you see women no longer queuing here fetching water again. They can only come with their containers, fetch water and go back easily. So that's the way government has assisted here. And you see that women who used to brew the local beer and kunu, even the food sellers here no longer have challenges of getting water to run their business any longer.
The water situation was very tough. People were not finding it easy to get water. Women wake up the night and struggle to fetch water. Even students who is too late because they have to travel distance, fetch water before they come home and then get dressed and then go to school. You cannot compare because there's a very wide gap. It has alleviated the suffering of our people to a great extent. Because people now fetch water at will and then they don't even have problem of water again. So that has helped the community get this.
A zahirance game da matsalar ruwa. Mun fuskanci matsalar ruwa a baya. Dan ni kaina dinnan mun je kududdufin da ake wanka, yara su yi wanka, manya su yi, shanu su sha mu ɗebo ruwa mu taho. Mun yi tafiya ta kai ta kilomita 4 zuwa wani rafi da ake kiransa Gajara. Mu ɗebo ruwa mu zo mu sha. Kuma ruwan da za mu sha na kwana ɗaya to cincinta shi muke yi kwana biyu. Daga baya aka zo aka mana bohol guda ɗaya. In ya tsaya sai mu iya yin sati ko kwana 10 ba mu samu ruwa ba. Aka zo aka sake yin ɗaya. To har a wannan lokaci dai ruwa bai ishe mu ba sai mun je rijiyoyi na ƙauyukan Fulani mun ɗebo. Amma maganar gaskiya a zuwan wannan gwamnati mun samu ci gaba in dai game da ruwa ne. Dan yanzu akwai bohol guda 4 a nan garin. Amma guda 3 ne suke yin aiki, 2 kan sun tsaya. Mun yi iya kokari a gyara, Allah dai bai kawo abin nan. Amma daga zuwa wannan gwamnati kan ga solan nan yanzu nan wani lokacin da ya game da ruwa ne to sai dai mu ce alhamdulillah.
Wannan aiki na gwamnatin tarayya da tamu da tare da tarimin to alhamdulillah tsakaninmu da gwamnati sai godiya ta mana abubuwan nan dan da ina noma buhuna a nan gurin sun kai 500 amma ko a bana mun noma buhuna wajen 2,300 a banan nan 2,300. Mun gode wannan gwamnatin tarayya, Allah ya mata albarka, Allah ya sa a yi lafiya a gama lafiya da tirimin wannan da minista Suleiman Adamu, Allah ya wa iyayensa albarka da kakannin iyayensu, Allah ya ji Allah ya gafarta musu.
Da ka ga in ruwa za ka samu ba za ka samu kamar yadda namiji zai samu ba, amma yanzu in ka buga pipe ɗinka ruwan nan zai isa ma har gonarka, ba wani wanda zai ɗage ma iya gonarka iya hega ɗinka iya aikinka. Ka gani to don haka mu tsakaninmu da hukumar tirimin sai dai mu ce mata Allah ya mata albarka.
The Rwasa Rural Water Supply Program is also another good yielding dividends of Engineer Suleiman Hussein Adamu's administration. As critical as dams are to the provision of man's water needs, and with over 408 dams in the country, the concessioning of dams for electricity is another notable project that the Ministry of Water Resources is engaged in to realize the full potentials of the dams.
Dams are quite important to the economy. Like I said, if you look at irrigation, it means we can do all year round farming. If we have dams that store water that can be used for irrigation purposes, it guarantees food security because we can continue to cultivate certain crops all year round. Then we also have these dams also useful for hydropower to provide us with renewable energy. And of course, the importance of power supply, I don't need to make much noise about it. We all know a substantial amount of the power that we consume in this country, even at the moment, comes from installations like the hydropower plants in Shiroro, Kainji and Jeba. Then if you're looking at even aquaculture, again fisheries, quite it's a big economy there. So if we harness this properly and we get a lot, if we're able to get private sector investors, especially in the aquaculture side, I think there's a lot going for us, and we've been advocating for this. We're inviting companies or entrepreneurs that want to do cage fish farming. We have these dams available. They can come and invest.
The irrigation potentials of the country are also being fully developed to bring about all-year farming.
When I assumed office in 2015, I studied the technical audit of all the ministry's engineering projects in May 2016. Arising from successful completion of the audit, we resolved to complete all viable water resources projects across the country, in line with the policy direction of the Buhari administration. The Gari irrigation project ranked among the top priority projects of the ministry. Accordingly, the project was reviewed and approved by the Federal Executive Council in January 2018, and a new contract was signed with the CDC Nigeria Limited in March 2018.
The campaign to end open defecation is another flagship initiative of this administration, which targets to end open defecation by 2025 and to provide a healthy environment for all. Presently, there are 72 local government areas and hundreds of communities which have been declared open defecation free, up from one open defecation free local government area in 2017. Even as these pro-people policies have been instituted, it has equally become imperative for these services to be paid for by the citizens who avail their uses, because investment in critical water infrastructure are huge and time-consuming. With the involvement of investors, an expectation of returns on investment is a condition for their investment in the first instance. This process will be further strengthened with strong regulatory environment to facilitate investors' confidence in their investments. As the Federal Ministry of Water Resources hosts its 28th regular meeting of National Council on Water Resources from the 13th to 16th December 2021, a clarion call goes forth for robust deliberations that will generate effective and efficient conditions to these emerging financial and management challenges in sustainable water infrastructure in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I think we can bring the lights back on now. I'm sure we enjoyed the emerging financial and management challenges for sustainable water infrastructure in Nigeria. We'd like to appreciate those who put that document together. I can see some of the directors of the ministry here with us. my immediate boss, Mrs. Kenechiko Ofie, I can see you. I can see E.D. Magashi. I can see, I can see, is that Engineer Danjuma Madaki? Yes, I can see Madaki. I think that's all I can see from here. Yes, I can see John Ochigbo over there as well. Thank you guys very kindly for being here. At this point in time, we'd like to bring some goodwill messages from our friends, our well-wishers, our partners. And I'd like to begin by inviting the representative of the Nigerian Association of Hydrologists. He is actually the managing director of the consult. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kana Ahmed Abubakar, FNAH. A round of applause for him as he comes forward. I heard once upon a time that those who use this walking stick are the biggest boys in Nigeria. I don't know about that, but you tell us more. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you.
Good morning. The Honorable Minister, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, FNSE, F-Engine, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water Resources, our own Mrs. Didi Jack, the representative of the FCT Minister. You are welcome. All protocol duly observed. I bring you greetings from the consult of the Nigerian Association of Hydrogeologists, which I am the managing director. The Nigerian Association of Hydrogeologists is an association, a specialist group of Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society. It has been operating for the past 30 years. We have a lot of our members within the ministry and then the MDS and then within the development partners. Over the years, we discovered that the phobia of civil service has prevented some of our expertise to the private sector. So that is the reason why the association set up a consult which has been operating for the past 20 years, which is multidisciplinary in nature, to serve as a business outfit for revenue generation instead of coming hand in cap to source for resources during conferences, and then to be able to give a sort of pseudo-governance, because we felt if you are in the civil service, you have some kind of limitation. You are under duress that you cannot be able to say some certain things. So I want to comment, I'll bring greetings from the association and then the consult. I want to commend the ministry for the achievements so far in ODF and then the SDGs. And then to be able to review the issue of the groundwater aspect, which that is our specialist. From 1960, that is during the Geological Survey of Nigeria, which groundwater was under, up to the Shagari National Borehole projects, up to the D3, PTF, and currently the SDGs. Now, we are able to carry out some studies that over the years, then we don't have much experts and we don't have much institutes. And then the delivery of projects was higher. Then over the years, as we speak, the delivery is lower. What has been the reason? So we carried out a research on our own with our little resources, and we discovered that some of the reasons are inadequacies in bill of quantities. Inadequate in the bill of quantities, is it due to incapacitation or is it due to corruption? This is food for thought for the ministry to be able to look at. Then another issue again is the issue of code of practice. As of 2007, we were able to draw out a sort of code of practice which the National Board Reporting Format took place in Mina, which did the adoption in 2008. Up to now, as we speak, based on that report, any geophysical investigation or any final board reporting supposed to be accompanied with a COMEX seal, which is Council of Mining Engineers Scientists or Council of Registered Engineers, so as to make it legally binding and then be able to prevent potential failure of projects. Up to now, it has not been implemented. So we are bringing this to the fore, to the ministry, to be able to implement it from the ministry level and then to development partners. So I think I will not take much of your time because this is just a sort of goodwill from the consult. Thank you very much.
A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Kana Ahmed Abubakar. Thank you. He is the MD of the consult. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to take this announcement. There is a Honda Accord, black-colored Honda Accord, with registration number Abuja KWL 51DP. The reason I'm taking this now is you parked directly in front of a resident's gate. And as we speak, the man is so angry he's deflating your tires. He wanted to go out and you blocked his gate directly. If you're the owner of that vehicle, please, let's see if we can salvage the situation. Thank you very kindly. It's a Honda Accord, black colored. Please. Now, I'd like to invite very quickly for another goodwill message, the representative of UNICEF here, the WASH manager, Omar Domboya. A round of applause for him as he comes forward very quickly. Domboya is a very smart man that has never spoken for more than 2 minutes before. A round of applause for him one more time, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. The Honorable Minister, Water Resources, the Permanent Secretary, Directors and General Managers, and State Partners, Development Partners, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. I'm delivering this goodwill message on behalf of UNICEF and the Chief of WASH. The theme of this year's council meeting came at the right time, laying the emphasis on the need to address financial and sustainability challenges of the water supply infrastructure. The finding of the 2019 WASH norm paint a clear picture of the WASH landscape in Nigeria, and I believe this has influenced the choice of this term for this year. 1 in 4, which is 26% of the water facilities in the country, were not functional at the time of the survey of the WASH norm. This means that there are a lot to be done in terms of improving the functionality of the water facilities. And this call for the effort from the federal, the state, and development partners to work together. And in that respect, UNICEF has been supporting the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to establish the village-level operation and maintenance system to improve functionality of water facilities in different states of the country. This effort will support all the government effort to lead the WASH sector toward the achievement of the SDGs in WASH. For UNICEF, we are happy to be part of this effort and to continue to support the government of Nigeria to implement durable and cost-effective solutions in water supply and to achieve the SDGs. We would like here to congratulate the Federal Ministry and the state for all the effort in improving access to water to the children and women in Nigeria. And we hope that this effort will continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was looking at the time. It was just 1 minute, 52 seconds. That's why I delayed a bit. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. I met the man I'm about to introduce to you some time ago, and I came to fall in love with him. He is a representative of WHO at this occasion today, Dr. Edwin Isotu Ede. Put your hands together for him as he comes forward for a goodwill message. The last time we met, I gave him the mic and we gave him 2 minutes. He took 1. Today we're giving him 1. I'm sure he will take 30 seconds. Good morning.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Hussein Hadamo, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Mrs. Esther Dede Walson-Jack, noble managing directors of various agencies, water basins, commissioners of water resources here present, my colleague and brothers from sister agencies, the UNICEF, and other development partners. Permit me to stand on existing protocol duly established. I'm here on behalf of my country rep and head of mission of World Health Organization, WHO Nigeria, Dr. Walter Kasade Malumbo, and I bring to you the healthy regards of the country rep and share with you the delights of the 20th National Council meeting on water resources. Permit me to also mention that on behalf of the country rep, we want to salute the sterling leadership of the Honorable Minister of Water Resources for driving a lot of transformation in the water, sanitation, and hygiene sector in Nigeria. He's a man that is worthy of emulation, and some of us are actually, learning a lot and learning from him. Today has to mark, celebrate this today. It also brings to fore to remind us that 2.2 billion people globally do not have access to water services. And of course, that is 1 in 3 persons who do not drink basic clean water. In Nigeria, the Washington report has clearly made it clear that 42% in 2018 do not have access to basic drinking water services. And that is why the theme of today's event is very, very apt, looking at emerging challenges, emerging issues, and addressing infrastructure in the water and sanitation sector. As you all know, that theme raises 3 important propositions. 1, the need for us to democratize access to water, sanitation, and hygiene services, understanding that the sector is not just about the Ministry of Water Resources, but every other ministries and settings, and therefore we need to put water as a very key component in every sectors and settings in Nigeria. And number 3, it raises the importance of how we can stimulate action from the local government councils. If the kind of momentum, the kind of drive we are seeing at the federal level in the sector, if we are seeing that in the 772 local government areas, a lot will change in Nigeria. And finally, this team also speaks to the importance for us to increase investment in the water and sanitation sector. The last Washington report, which was the Wash Account report done by WHO and UNICEF, revealed a huge gap, 3.6 billion. That is almost 2.8% of the GDP. It's a huge gap, and we have, WHO is ready to work with, continue to work with the ministry. We are driving a lot of campaigns and programs on sanitation safety in Lagos, in Bauchi, in Bayelsa, and also in Niger State. And we hope that as we move on, we are going to scale this. We join all of you all to welcome you to this very important and august meeting, and may God bless you so much.
Dr. Edwin Isotu is a national consultant, Public Health and Environment Program of the WHO in Nigeria. And he is currently, for your information, the winner of Nigeria Sustainability Health Consultant of the Year Award 2021. A round of applause for him, please. Rachel?
Thank you very much. So at this point, we will go straight to the next item on the agenda. That is the drama presentation by the Spotlighters. The drama presentation now, please.
Edward. My supply. So we protect our water. Don't mind me. So you mean this law attack by military by surprise will solve the water problem we are facing in this country? My friend, come, let me tell you something.
Why not now?
Sometimes I have to take you closer for you to understand the way I am acting. Look, the problem we are facing with water infrastructure in this community, it goes beyond military attack by surprise. Look, the problem is financial and management problem. And until these things are being solved, well, lie, as I'm talking to you, this problem will not be solved.
Chere, you are confusing me. You are confusing me here now. So you mean without solving this our financial and management challenge, worrying our water infrastructure, accessing drinkable water is questionable?
Yes, of course. Thank God.
Access to potable and drinkable water is paramount to nation building.
Tell them.
Our daily water demand is beyond what is obtainable. Some of the challenges bedeviling our water infrastructure are the combination of inadequate infrastructure, inappropriate water governance law, mismanagement of water facilities, vandalization of water facilities, open defecation, effect of climate change on our water resources, lack of private participation, insufficient funding from the public sector, amongst others.
Professor,
Yes.
please clarify me very, very well in this. You mean to tell us now that this is what the Ministry of Water Resources has been contending with all this while?
Yes.
Of course.
As a matter of fact, the Ministry of Water Resources have been active in her mandate. She has been up and doing in the fight against the hitches that have been plaguing our water sector. The Honorable Minister, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, and his team deserve accolades.
Accolades. They're doing well.
Because they are doing a great job. So let us all do the needful to support them so that they can do more. After all, water, they say, is life.
What was that song you sang last time we met? That Fela song, please sing it again for me.
That Fela song?
Yes, sing it again.
If you want to bath, now what are you going to use? If you want to cook, now what are you going to use? If you want to wash, now what are you going to use? Water. You don't get enemy. Water. You don't get enemy. Water. You don't get enemy. If we water, you wonder. Water. You don't get enemy. And they talk about Mark power. Water. You don't get enemy. And they talk about black man power. Water. You don't get enemy. Mommy, you're not. Water. You don't get enemy. Mommy, you're not. Water. You don't get enemy. Mommy, you're not. Water. You don't get enemy. La 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 la. Water. You don't get enemy. Mommy, you're not. Water. You don't get enemy. Water. You don't get enemy. Water. You don't get enemy.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, for the spotlighters. Indeed, water no get enemy. It is now time for us to respectfully invite the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, who is the chairman of the National Council on Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, FNSC FAENG, for his keynote address. A round of applause, please, as he steps up.
Be 2 minutes. 2 hours. Oh, man past man. The Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, ably represented by the Permanent Secretary, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Honorable Commissioners from the states and other key officials responsible for water at state level, development partners, directors of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and heads of agencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. May I, on behalf of the ministry, welcome all the commissioners and delegates responsible for managing our water assets in the states, officials of the ministry and other delegates to this 28th Regular National Council on Water Resources meeting. I know some of you must have endured some challenges on your way coming here, but I'm gratified that you overcame them with the characteristic Nigerian resilience to join us in Abuja for this important meeting. Considering that this 28th Council was initially scheduled to hold in Sokoto, in line with the resolution of the 27th Council, I wish to use this opportunity to apologize on behalf of the Ministry for whatever inconvenience the change may have imposed on your schedules. I want to particularly express our profound apologies to Governor Amin Waziri Tambol, CFR Matoli Sokoto, as well as the government and people of Sokoto State for this change considering the efforts and investments they must have put in planning to host this important meeting. May I also apologize that this meeting was supposed to have also taken place on the 16th of December. Unfortunately, due to some urgent exigencies that came on requiring me to travel, we had to again push this meeting to today. Let me assure His Excellency, the Governor of Sokoto State, and the good people of Sokoto State, that the ministry looks forward with excitement to the next opportunity to hold the meeting in the seat of the Caliphate, and hope that despite the disappointment, we will be accorded the characteristic warmth and hospitality of the Sokoto Caliphate when this happens. Honorable Commissioners and distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we are aware that funding is one of the major challenges facing the sustainable development of the water sector, which has in no small way contributed to the deteriorating or near lack of water infrastructure in the country. Reports indicate that there is a huge funding gap of over 6 trillion naira to procure infrastructure in this sector. The 28th Council will afford us the opportunity to discuss developments in the water sector, evaluate previous proposals to address identified challenges, particularly funding, through our resolutions, and chart a way forward towards resolving contemporary challenges in the sector. It is therefore anticipated that during this Council meeting, under the theme Emerging Financial Management Challenges for Sustainable Water Infrastructure in Nigeria, we will holistically review developments in the sector under the following sub-themes. 1, water governance. 2, operational water infrastructure. 3, climate extremes and impact on water infrastructure. 4, sustainable financing. And 5, pricing for water and water services. You will recall that the 27th Council meeting held in Abuja in December 2020 adopted 18 resolutions intended to address the identified challenges in the water sector. These include, among others, 1, construction of dams on identified sites for systematic reining in of flood in the country in order to reduce recurrent flooding. 2, commemoration of the War Rivers Day on the last Sunday of September of every year, in line with the United Nations approval to be done by the 12 River Basin Development Authorities and all the states. 3, states to key into the current PWASH initiative, while PWASH focal states be judged based on performance approach using the established separate budget line for PWASH programs in the RUWASAs. For the National Task Group of Sanitation to finalize the Sanitation Health Fund proposal to fund the financial gap for Nigeria, and that the shortlisted states convey willingness in order to benefit from the grant in line with the co-financing requirement of the grant in Q1 of 2021. And finally, provision of the required guidance at the state level by the ministry to encourage 20 states and the FCT flag off the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign under the national program to end open defecation in Nigeria by 2025. I deliberately decided to recapitulate some of these decisions of the 27th Council, as they provide a crucial backdrop for evaluating our efficiency in the sector and for the purpose of reporting to the 28th Council. It is therefore my expectation that in order to ensure sustainability, and unlike previous councils, we will deploy the opportunity of this meeting to evaluate the efficacy of our previous actions and recommendations, particularly the preceding council, for consistency and effectiveness of our interventions in the long run. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to highlight some of the achievements of the ministry and developments in the sector since the last council. In line with the policy thrust of this administration, steps were taken to achieve the delivery of our irrigation schemes in phases. And since the last council meeting, completed sectors of some irrigation schemes that have been handed over to farmers for cultivation include 3,070 hectares at Middle River Irrigation Project in Sokoto State, 786 hectares Gari Irrigation Project straddling Jigawa and Kano states, 7,105 hectares at Bakole Irrigation Project in Zamfara State, 5,129 hectares at Kano River Irrigation Project in Kano State, and 4,050 hectares at Adeja Valley Irrigation Project in Jigawa State. In addition, erosion control work projects at Idokpo, Ogbagede, Okwagba, Ohuako LJ in Ebonyi State have been completed and commissioned, while connection of Middle Ogun Irrigation Project to the national power grid is ongoing. The redesign of Middle and Lower Ogun Irrigation Projects in Ogun and Oyo States commenced in September 2021. Similarly, the integration of solar power in the 1,200 hectare Sapke Irrigation Project in Katsina State is now at an advanced stage. Let me also inform you that the World Bank assisted Transforming Irrigation Management in Nigeria TRIMIN project is making significant impact in the projects under its interventions, such as the Bakolori, Kano River, and Adeja Valley irrigation projects. Some of the landmark achievements I mentioned earlier are from these projects. When completed, the intervention will add over 42,000 hectares of land into the existing irrigation area and reduce the hazard potentials of existing dams. About 625,000 jobs are expected to be created, while 520,000 additional tons of rice and other cereals are estimated to be produced annually. The Ministry's program on youth empowerment is aimed at addressing the alarming youth unemployment and to enhance food security, promote water, sanitation, and hygiene, as well as impact on contemporary challenges such as the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. States are expected to collaborate with the federal government in facilitating access to farmland to our teeming young population. The ministry is doggedly pursuing the establishment and strengthening of water user associations nationwide for effective and efficient operation and maintenance of irrigation infrastructure by building the capacity of irrigators. Moreover, in pursuance of the national launch and flag of the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign, the ministry has, in collaboration with stakeholders, made some stride towards achieving the set goal of making Nigeria open defecation free by 2025. Among the things that we've been doing include state and LGA desk officers have been designated as liaison between state and the National Campaign Secretariat. 13 states have reviewed their ODF roadmap with detailed budget and timelines, while an additional 19 states have set up steering committees to coordinate implementation. Additionally, 36 states and the FCT have flagged off their statewide campaign to end open defecation. And in just 2 years after the creation of the campaign secretariat, there are now 72 open defecation-free local government areas compared to 16 at the start of the campaign. With the sustenance of the commitment and efforts in this direction, we are now looking at statewide ODF status that will upscale to nationwide status in 2022. In other words, we are looking towards the first state to be declared open defecation free, hopefully in 2022. And finally, the National Youth Volunteer Program on COVID-19 prevention and support for the Clean Nigeria campaign has been successfully launched and is now being implemented in 35 states and FCT, with the exception of Benue State. Let me commend you all for the effort being put into successfully launching the campaign in your states. However, in spite of the state-level launch of the campaign to end open defecation, many of the states are not committing the needed financial and human resources as well as the political will required to drive the campaign and accelerate progress. The progress being recorded in the attainment of ODF status across LGAs is limited to a few progressive states who are demonstrating leadership in this regard. I therefore urge you to join hands with the ministry in changing this narrative so that we can successfully achieve our national open defecation free target for 2025. Further to the implementation of the National Wash Action Plan, we have developed specifically target programs like 1, Water Supply Initiative for Northeastern IDPs, 2, Water Supply Initiative for federal government establishments, and 3, Water Supply Initiative for federal government tertiary education institutions. These initiatives are geared towards increasing access to water supply. I'm pleased to inform you that as part of the federal government's National Wash Action Plan for the revitalization of Nigeria's water supply, sanitation, and hygiene sector, the World Bank has approved a $700 million facility for the Nigeria Sustainable Urban and Rural Water Supply, Sanitation, and Hygiene SOWASH program. SOWASH is expected to provide 6 million people with basic drinking water services and 1.4 million people access to improved sanitation services. The program will deliver improved water sanitation and hygiene services to 2,000 schools and healthcare facilities and assist about 500 communities to achieve open defecation-free status. SAWASH will focus not only on improving access to water supply, sanitation, and hygiene services in 7 pilot states, namely Delta, Ekiti, Gombe, Imo, Kaduna, Katsina, and Plateau, but on establishing the policies, regulations, procedures, institutional frameworks, and supply chain. This program is performance-based, and participation is open to all states in Nigeria based on their commitment to specific reforms in the sector. The ministry is also working towards improving the country's dam infrastructure, which has created 20,400 direct jobs and 16,000 indirect jobs during the year under review. In this regard, the ministry is collaborating with the private sector to develop the tourism potential of Gurara Dam to support diversification of the economy and create jobs for Nigerians, thereby meeting the aspiration of this administration on job creation and improved value chain. The process of concessioning mini and medium hydropower plants to boost power supply output in the country is ongoing at the following locations: Makodi 1,500 megawatts, Lokoja 750 megawatts, Katsina Ala 460 megawatts, Tede 220 megawatts, Mangu 182 megawatts, Kiri 36 megawatts, Bawarku 182 megawatts, and Manya 136 megawatts. Permit me to appreciate our development partners and indeed all stakeholders for the remarkable strides that have been made through our coordinated interventions to improve access to sustainable water infrastructure in Nigeria, but a lot still needs to be done. I'm optimistic that this 20th National Council of Water Resources will come up with practical and enforceable policies that will result in improved financing for infrastructure development in the water sector and ensure sustainable service delivery against the backdrop of dwindling government revenue. This is very, very imperative for the states. Honorable Commissioners and distinguished delegates, as you may be aware, the National Council of Water Resources has 6 standing technical subcommittees, each headed by a chairman with relevant stakeholders as members. You will recall that the current chairmen were appointed in 2010 during the Emergency National Council of Water Resources meeting held in Abuja, shortly after the demerger of the ministry from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. These distinguished professionals and elder statesmen have spent 11 good years diligently providing quality service in coordinating and producing memoranda for Council's consideration. However, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for us to change the leadership of these committees. After careful consideration, the ministry took the decision to review the composition of the subcommittees and appoint new chairmen for a 4-year tenure, renewable once upon satisfactory performance evaluation. I wish to commend and thank our outgoing chairman and urge them to continue to lend us their wealth of experience by playing advisory role to the council and the ministry for the betterment of the water sector. I know some of them are getting quite old and tired, and that is why we felt that we need to ease the burden on them, not because we do not appreciate their services, but it's only fair that after serving 11 years, and with biology not being favorable to them, we should give them some time to rest. Thank you very much, Subcommittee Chairman, for a job well done. Honourable Minister of Water of FCT, ably represented, Honourable Commissioners, Permanent Secretaries, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your kind attention and wish us fruitful deliberations. Thank you and good morning.
A round of applause, please. Sir, can I have your speech for safekeeping? I'm still following you, sir, for safekeeping. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. This speech is very important. We can't let anything happen to it. Rachel, guard that speech with your life. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We'd like to thank you very much again, Dr. Galadima, for the very beautiful speech given on this occasion today. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, honorable commissioners, permanent secretaries, partners, it gives me pleasure to invite to the microphone. The last time I met him, I told you, I saw his picture and I thought it was a poster for presidency 2023. He was looking very colorful, and he disappointed me today by looking much better than what looked like in the picture. It is an honor for me to welcome the Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Olushade Adeshola, who is ably representing the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Malam Mohammed Musa Bello. A round of applause for him as he comes forward. Good to see you, sir. It's a great honor.
MC, thank you for the accolade. Unfortunately, as a civil servant, I'm only to be seen and not heard. So I cannot even campaign or contest for an elective office. So if I'm going to contest, you wait for me to leave the saddle first before I will think of doing that. And that may not happen in 2023. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, our very hardworking and very articulate Honorable Minister, Engineer Suleiman Hussein Adamu, FNSC, FA Engineering, my sister, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Barrister D.D. Esther Wasinjak, MNI, my sister, the Acting General Manager, FCT Water Board, who have been ensuring that we have water to drink in FCT. And that's why anytime we're invited to this program, we make bold to come, because we have not disappointed the citizens in providing water. The very distinguished and eminent personalities here present, I acknowledge and relate with the existing and established protocols. Your Excellency, before I will deliver the message of your brother, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Madam Mohammed Musa Bello, who for other national assignment could not make it as he just returned from a trip and he needed to observe some protocols. He conveyed his warm greetings to you and to congratulate you especially for keeping faith with the hosting of this council year by year. He acknowledged that the continuous hosting of the council has greatly contributed to development and the impactful achievement in the water sector under the administration of His Excellency, Mr. President. He assured you of the support of FCT to continue to host, even if it is decided that FCT should be made the permanent host city for the council. So we we acknowledge just as the Honorable Minister has acknowledged the sacrifices and effort made by Sokoto State government. Actually, their loss is our gain, and we are willing to do more. Before I read the speech of the Honorable Minister, Your Excellency, please permit me to just make a small intervention in the illustration or the story of the parrot who killed the parrot. I thought of the morality of the story. To me, the takeaway there is you should invoke appropriate sanction, appropriate punishment for an offense. Asking the parrot to remove a feather each time your wife cheats on you is too much of a punishment. Because each time it's plucking its feather, it loses blood. And so the punishment, even on the parrot, is so heavy than the error is supposed to correct. No wonder the parrot died. Because, for instance, while pulling the feathers from even its wings, it will indeed be challenging for the feather. And going forward, I saw that this had been clearly articulated even in our public service rules. Offenses are graduated. Some are minor offenses, just giving warning. Some giving suspension. And for the very serious one, particularly offenses against the security of the state, that one requires aggravated discipline. In fact, when it's an offense against the security of the state, you don't even need to sit SEC. You dismiss and you follow up with appropriate documentation. But when it is serious misconduct, you follow the process and you ensure that you dismiss. So when we are invoking sanctions, let us match them with the offense and not go. With this intervention as a bureaucrat and administrator, I want to deliver the address of my boss, the Honorable Minister, FCT, Malam Muhammad Musa Bello. It says, I consider it an honor and privilege to be here today for the 28th regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources holding here in Abuja, our nation's beautiful capital city. It is my pleasure, therefore, on behalf of the FCT administration and the residents of the Federal Capital Territory, to welcome council members, officials, and other stakeholders who have crisscrossed Nigeria to be here for this important convergence. Permit me also to extend my appreciation to the Honorable Minister of Water Resources for the choice of Abuja as sole city for this meeting back to back. This choice further enhanced the credentials of Abuja as a growing conference tourism city in Nigeria and indeed on the African continent. Honorable Chairman, members of Council, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the provision of clean, safe, portable water to the citizenry is very high on development agenda of the federal government under His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. And the challenges in meeting the demands in this sector prompted the declaration of state of emergency in the water sector in 2018. This to ensure that ample attention, implementable policies, and adequate resources are allocated to this sector to meet the demands of the citizenry. However, the water sector is faced with old and emerging challenges that have prevented us from meeting our targets in this sector. Providing infrastructure for modern water supply is very capital intensive and requires both infrastructural and financial management skills of the managers in the sector to effectively meet these emerging and evolving challenges. That is why the theme for this year's council, which is Emerging Financial and Management Challenges for Sustainable Water Infrastructure in Nigeria, is not only germane, but is equally coming at the right time. Here in the FCT, we are working assiduously to meet the potable water needs of the residents of the city, as we also confront the challenges of inadequate budgetary provisions in the face of rising demands orchestrated by a population explosion in the nation's capital city. For instance, why the projected population of the FCT by year 2020 ought to be 3 million. The actual population as of 2018-2019 had risen to 6 million. This has placed enormous demand and pressure on the meager resources of government to meet the infrastructural needs. And that's why you see new territories, layout districts have been opened without the corresponding provision of infrastructural facility. Therefore, while we continue to work to complete ongoing projects, such as the Greater Abuja Water Supply Project, which is a bilateral initiative to enhance water supply to 33 districts in the FCT, as contained in the 2022 National Priority Budget, we are also embarking on initiatives that will involve greater participation of the organized private sector. Just last week, I had the privilege of performing the ceremonial site handover of the Gwagwa District Development under the Land for Infrastructure SWAP program. This program will see participating private sector companies providing world-class infrastructure, which will include infrastructure for water supply within the district in an arrangement that will benefit both parties, but at no direct cost to the government, thus providing a win-win result for all, especially the ordinary citizens of our country. It is our expectations that the National Council on Water Resources, which is the highest forum for policy through decision-making in the water sector, will evolve strategies to meet the challenges in the water sector across the country, and we eagerly await the outcome of this meeting to enable us also meet the water needs of the people of the FCT. It is on this note that I once again welcome you to Abuja and wish you a productive gathering. Thank you for your kind attention, and may God bless us all. MMB. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Can I have that, sir?
Yes, for safekeeping. You don't, yes. When you need it. Yes. During your presidential campaigns, we'll return it to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very insightful address. At this point, we would like to invite the permanent secretary. She's also the secretary to the National Council on Water.
Please hold on. Okay. You know, this woman, they make palm sec, they hungry me.
Oh, really?
You don't understand. Have you seen the way she's looking?
Yeah.
Madam, can you stand up for a minute? Let these people see you.
No, she will walk to the podium. It's okay. It's okay.
Like that?
You're too excited. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Can you apply for the position of permanent secretary?
It's okay, Solomon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me invite my permanent secretary.
So I should go?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So
I'm going.
I would like to invite the beautiful permanent secretary. She's also the secretary to the National Council on Water Resources, Mrs. Didi Walson-Jack. A round of applause, please, as she approaches the podium.
The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman H. Adamu, my dear brother, the Permanent Secretary of the FCT, here ably representing the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Honorable Commissioners from the states of the Federation, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, I am highly honored to give a vote of thanks at the opening session of the 28th regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources. My task is a simple one, but before I continue, let me first of all appreciate the Almighty God for granting us this day to witness the 28th edition of the National Council on Water Resources. Permit me also to appreciate each and everyone who has graced this 28th edition in spite of our rescheduling of the meeting. Your presence is affirmative of your uncommon love for the water sector. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, here ably represented, and our special guest of honor, I really commend you for honoring our request to co-host this meeting, as it was done at very short notice due to our inability to meet at Sokoto as earlier scheduled due to circumstances beyond our control. We cannot thank you enough because you are always there for us. My dear brother, please convey a very, very sincere gratitude to the Honorable Minister. May I also express our deep appreciation to the Permanent Secretary and the Honorable Minister of State, the Permanent Secretary, the General Manager of the Water Board, and the entire staff of the Federal Capital Territory Administration for the warm reception and hospitality extended to our distinguished guests. We would also like to thank our chairman of the Senate Committee on Water Resources, distinguished Senator Bello Mandia, even though he is not here, as well as our chairman, Honorable Sada Soli, Chairman House Committee on Water Resources. Both of them have been a blessing to the water sector. Their commitment and support to the Federal Ministry of Water Resources towards the development of the nation's water resources is highly commendable. We really thank them in absentia, and we pray that we will continue to work collaboratively for the betterment of the sector. To the chairman and members of the Ministerial Policy Advisory Committee, our elder statesmen, we are grateful for your continued guidance from your wealth of experience. I equally extend our gratitude to the honorable commissioners and their representatives responsible for water development in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, as well as other stakeholders in the water sector. We recognize and appreciate all the permanent secretaries serving and retired and the permanent secretaries from the states for their active participation. Some of them were here with us at the technical session. To directors of MDAs, managing directors, general managers of water boards, especially the acting general manager, FCT Water Board, managing directors, general managers of rural water supply and sanitation agencies, chairmen and executive secretaries of water regulatory commissions, other relevant stakeholders, and of course our development partners. We say thank you very much for honoring our invitation. We must not fail to thank our resource persons, the chairman and members of the various technical subcommittees who worked tirelessly on the memoranda that would be discussed at today's council meeting. Your commitment to the sector is immeasurable. Finally, permit me to thank the local organizing committee and those who contributed in no small measure in facilitating this event. The facility managers and staff and management of both the Grand Pella Hotel and Suites and of the West African College of Physicians Conference Center, where we are today. I say a big thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, we wish you travel mercies to your homes and Merry Christmas in advance. We look forward to seeing and meeting you in the new year 2022 as we plan towards the next council meeting. God bless us all. Thank you.
A round of applause for the PS. Thank you very kindly, ma'am. Thank you very kindly. Very well. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, Rachel, just to announce what is coming after the photographs, we're going to take photographs very quickly before we go for our tea break. And I have someone who is on standby to lead the PS, the Honorable Minister, to the holding room, and some other people, the Minister of the FCT, to the holding room for their own tea break. Directors, development partners, commissioners, and PS from states we eat at the room directly behind the stage. This is the way through. Someone will direct you. That's for directors, development partners, commissioners, and PS from states. That's where you're going to eat. And then the rest of us, the Cherem Kambias, we're all going to go down. There's a space downstairs. We also have a space where we're going to have something to eat. I think that's the order. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Very well.
We just want to quickly acknowledge the presence of Engineer Mrs. Okeke. She is joining us online. And we have other members of the Ministerial Policy Advisory
She's the WASH ambassador, right?
Yeah, she is.
She's the WASH ambassador.
So we have members of MPAC too joining us online.
Very well. Now we're going to take pictures very quickly, and may I please politely and humbly invite those in the front row to please kindly step up first of all for a shot, and then we have to remove this away from here. And then the commissioners from the states that are here will also join us for a snapshot with the minister and PS very quickly. Can we have people? Where are the young, strong, agile people here? When I was a lot younger, I used to do that myself. Very quickly. Can we? Okay, I'm employing you now. Help me remove that quickly. What is your height for? If I was as tall as you. So please, may I humbly invite the honorable ministers and the permanent secretaries to please, representative of the WHO, and please, let's go over there for a quick snapshot. Immediately after this first one, our honorable commissioners from states will also join us to take the photograph very quickly. Photographers, and by photographers, I'm not talking of technophones. I'm talking of the real photographers that have been brought here for this job. There's one particular technophone now, even when a plane flies over you, they say battery full. When they snap a picture with that phone, you hear quack. Right, are we good? Honorable Minister, you allow the commissioners from states, please, a round of applause for them as they join us for a snapshot. All of them are dressed in their regalias, looking beautiful. Wow, this is amazing. Yes, we know where the state money is going to. Yes, this is amazing. Lovely. Yeah, we can come forward, can step down, we can even step down a bit, others will be behind. Commissioners, you stay behind. Let the first line come down. Shall we do this very quickly? Okay, now, immediate after this picture, the honorable ministers and the PAMSECs will remain. The rest of us will sit down, and the directors of the ministry, our EDs and our DGs, heads of agencies here, you will join for the photograph. Please, a round of applause to the commissioners and our partners as they take their seats, leaving behind the ministers and the permanent secretaries. Ms. Okoro, you are a permanent secretary as far as this occasion is concerned. Please kindly go back to join the photograph. That's the chairman planning committee. My elder sister smiling. Mr. Awe is already there. Where is Mr. Ochigbo? Where is Magashi? Where is Mrs. Sophia? Please quickly, let's make this happen very quickly. Alhaji Madaki, it's good to see you. The DG Special Duties, there's the Director Special Duties, I can see him now. The Director Human Resource, I can also see her there. Mrs. Idakwa. Yes, some climb upstairs, like Mr. Nze can go higher a little bit. Okay, his cap is covering you. Okay. Incidentally, both of you are dressed alike. Nicer and River Basins. Good to see you. Very good. I think we're done. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they take their seats now. As you return to your seats, may I ask us to remain standing? Rachel, let's all rise up on our feet, ladies and gentlemen, as we take the national anthem for the closing, please. Let's make way for the rest of them to return to their seats. My brother, the DJ, can you hold on the national anthem for us very quickly? The Bini Uwena River Basin is here. Ogasali, it's good to see you, sir. All right, Rachel, I think we can take the national anthem now.
Yes, please. The national anthem, please.
Of applause for Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. As we take our tea break, immediately after tea break, we are resuming for the technical session. We have just 20 minutes for that. That will be done within the next 20 minutes. 30 minutes within the next.
The usher should please direct the VIPs to where they are supposed to take their tea break.